As promised in the last video, here is a Astrology 101 introduction for skeptics. Don't believe in astrology? Think it's woo-woo? Think it doesn't make any sense? Don't buy in? Doesn't make sense for you? Well, part of the reason might be that you're only focusing on your sun sign, and our sun sign is based on the time of year that we're born. And a little bit of history is that I think in the 1960s, some journalist just decided to write an article called a horoscope about people's sun signs. And the reason why they picked the sun sign is because it's simple. Everybody knows when their birthday is, right? However, there are things that are weighted equally as heavily as our sun sign in astrology, and we'll get into that. Hi, my name is Julia Swartz. I'm a psychotherapist with over 30 years experience integrating modern psychology with ancient healing arts. The name of my practice is Integrative Guidance, and I'm hoping that for those of you who don't know a lot about astrology or tarot or numerology or the Kabbalah or all the ancient healing arts that we'll get into, that this will be eye-opening and some information that maybe you didn't really understand or know about before. So when I talk to people who are skeptical about astrology, the first thing I ask them to think about are the planets, and in astrology, these are planets that we can actually see with our naked eye. So I ask them, do you feel like you're affected by the sun? Do you feel like you have a relationship with the sun? And if so, in what ways? How? So some people will say, I'm in a great mood when the sun shines. It really affects me. I feel like when the sun doesn't shine for days and days and days and it's really gloomy, I'm in a really bad mood. Some people even recognize that the sun is essential in growing the food that we eat, right? No sun, no food, no flowers, no fruits, no vegetables, and in fact, our livestock is fed by those things. So it's essential in our food chain. And we do have a relationship with the sun. It can make us feel warm. It can increase our mood regulators, the serotonin, oxytocin, our endorphins is what I meant to say, and the opiates in our brain. So the sun affects us in lots of ways, biologically and emotionally. And the next thing I'll ask people is, do you think the moon affects you in any way? Do you think you have a relationship with the moon? Do you feel like you interact with the moon? Typically, what most people will say is, I cannot sleep when the moon is full. I'm restless, or I have weird dreams, or I just can't sleep at all, right? And the moon is connected to the element of water, and water has rulership over our emotions. And in fact, the word loony comes from Luna and the word moon. And there's reams of data to support that on the full moon, emergency rooms are filled. Accidents are more frequent. People have more mental health admissions, and people just get sick or feel off, right? The moon regulates our tides and our calendar. We live our life day by day by time and by the calendar, right? And so the cycles of the moon are connected to our calendar and our day-to-day existence of where we need to go and what we need to do. And most people can recognize that they do notice a difference around their moon connected to the moon. And then lastly, I ask them about the earth. Do they feel like they have a relationship with the earth, or the earth impacts them in any way? And it fascinates me that this is the one that stumps people. This is the long pause. The earth, relationship with the earth, interact with the earth. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. And then I ask, where do you live? Where does gravity keep you attached to? Again, where does your food come from? Where do you breathe oxygen from? We live on this planet. We don't think about the ways that we're interdependent on it and the ways that we are connected to the cycles in nature and how we interact on a daily basis with the earth. The earth energy is about things on the material level. our job, our stuff, our home, our physical body, our health. And so we are intimately connected with the earth. And most people at that point will nod and say, okay, I'm in. That makes sense. So if you can recognize the way in which the qualities of the sun, which is connected to the element of fire, the moon, water, and the earth, earthly things, material plane, is it so out of the realm of possibility that the other planets, Neptune, Pluto, all the other planets, can't think of them all off the top of my head, Uranus, is it so out of the realm of possibility that they also have qualities and that we interact with them and that they influence us in ways that we might not be aware of or conscious of because we can't see them? Most people then say, sure, I can see why they have qualities in ways that maybe just because I don't see them, they don't impact me. And so these are some things to think about if you're skeptical of astrology. The other thing that's important to think about is that in astrology, there are certain things that are weighted more than others. Although we mostly only talk about our sun sign, if the only planet we have is in that sign might not resonate for us, right? And so our natal chart is based on the date, time, and place of our birth. And there's lots of free apps that you can plug that in. You can either plug it into AI and get information about that, right? So if we were to stand on the planet on the date, time, and place of our birth and look up in the sky, every planet is in a constellation. That blueprint is what's called our natal chart. And it's all based on geometry and math. A natal chart is a circle, 360 degrees, with 12 slices of pie, and each one of those slices of pie is 30 degrees. It looks like this. This comes from my astrology teacher, the Queen of Cups, right? And so it starts in the beginning with Aries, which is April, the spring, and it goes in chronological order around the circle from 1 to 12, and it ends with Pisces. And each one of these houses are ruled by a sign and a planet. And then what happens is there are geometrical correlations. So from here to here is 180 degrees and 90 degrees and so on. Those are called aspects, and they get drawn down here. I won't go into the technicalities of aspects, but those also connect to the blueprint of who we are. If we come from the belief that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, then we come into this life with a set of strengths and a set of challenges that are baked into us, that we will learn the life lessons that we've asked ourselves to learn. Yes, we have free will. However, we've asked ourselves a set of life lessons to learn, and these aspects give us strengths and challenges to navigate that with. Okay, that's a natal chart. If you have it done on a computer, it's going to look more like this, right? This inside part never changes, and the aspects get drawn out here. Sorry, the transits get drawn out here, because every planet is always transiting, right? The sun moves around the earth and every 24 hours, right? The moon has a 28 to 30 day cycle. Saturn, for example, has a 27 to 32 year cycle. So every planet has its cycle. Again, I'm not going to get deep into this because we're just doing a little intro here, okay? The things that are weighted most heavily in the beginning when you're looking at your natal chart are, again, your sun sign, your rising sign, which is based on the time of day that you're born, because whatever time the sun rises at the time of year that you're born, the sun is going to move through every sign in the zodiac every 2 hours as it makes its way around the circle. Okay? Our rising sign is who we show ourselves in our early childhood, and our sun sign is who we show ourselves later on in life. Right? The planet connected to our rising sign or our ascendant is our chart ruler. So our sun and our ascendant are very important. Equally as important is our moon sign, because that's the way our emotions are going to be expressed. Okay? Some of the other things that we really look at is Jupiter, the largest planet, the most expansive planet, all of the gifts that we get in our lifetime. And we also really look at Saturn. Saturn is our life lesson teacher. Saturn is a restricting energy. Saturn says, if you're not learning the lessons that you signed on to learn, we're going to make sure you learn it, and it's not going to be easy. Okay? So oftentimes people have very significant things that happen in their lives during their Saturn returns, between the ages of 27 and 32, 57 and 62, and some people make it to their third one. We're going to get into Saturn returns connected to also the development of our prefrontal cortex, because those things align pretty significantly as well. That will be when we get into it a little bit deeper. So there'll be more to come. And this is just an introductory video for those of you who have no frame of reference for astrology, who are super skeptical, who don't believe in it and don't buy in. And maybe some of the things in this video will give you a little bit of pause, ask you to think a little bit more about it. Have you consider maybe the ways in which these things impact you, because we can use it as a tool to guide ourselves. We can look at our strengths and we can look at our challenges. It's a little known fact that Carl Jung, my favorite psychologist, was considered to be a mystic back in his day. He did the natal chart of every patient he ever worked with, and the theories of personality that he came up with, those archetypes and theories of personality, come out of astrology. And then the Myers-Briggs, which was developed by Catherine Myers and Isabella Myers-Briggs, uses Jung's theories to develop personality typing. And personality typing comes directly from astrology. And again, those core components of our strengths and our challenges, because our personality also bakes in, and our temperament, that we learn the lessons that we've asked ourselves to learn. Everyone has a set of strengths and a set of challenges. And ideally, what we want to do is maximize those strengths and minimize our challenges. And so if you're interested in looking at how the Myers-Briggs might correlate with your astrological chart, reach out. In the meantime, let me know what you think about this. Did it help you think about astrology a little bit differently? Did you change your mind at all? Did you even have a nanosecond of, never thought of it that way? Let me know. Leave me a comment and reach out if you are interested in digging into this a little bit further. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it, and we'll be back soon with more deep dives into astrology, temperament, strengths, and challenges. Bye-bye. Take care.